I drove in theory, the better one, but oftentimes the gate is locked, but I bet you they were ruts that big. I've got a four-wheel drive, and I was able to kind of straddle them, and I go, I end up in this thing, it's gonna break my axle.
Yeah.
So, and I, I was gonna tell them on the road, they tried to fix a couple of that, it's just happening every other week.
And this was,
Yeah.
they just repaired theirs.
Yeah, oh, yeah, all of that. Well, a woman, I get clothes tailored every day, but a woman who is a tailor on Main Street, she lives out in, Ivy. And, she said they had, I guess, a bridge they put across, Old Ivy Creek to get to their house.
Right.
And the one that washed away, the people, washed out their bridge. They just had it finished. Because otherwise you couldn't get their house.
Yeah.
So, it's just been weird.
I constantly in about 15 minutes.
Pouring.
And I don't always hear, here's the rain, I don't always
Yeah.
hear, it's some, oh, I hear it.
Well, as
I'm down.
long as you drive, it's kind of peaceful.
Yeah, maybe it was. You're able to afford it. Yeah. Pretty much a lawyer anyway. I didn't even grab it last night, so I wasn't gonna get out and walk. Yeah. Well, they're in their. Oh, okay. I'm gonna take my ocean. But I always have, more space.
How many chickens?
I'm still trying to have it. I just went back and show.
Not like, cat or something, no.
You know what, I can walk since I've been going to, because of school.
Yeah, for a show and tell.
Yeah. Great. You know, I can't respond to the tree.
Are they laying yet?
It makes you smile.
Right. Yeah, is this your son? I'm assuming.
How are you?
It's not.
You must be Chris.
And are you, I mean, I've never had chickens most of my life, but I've never.
Anyway, so this is for everybody.
And I've always thought it'd be pretty cool. Tough question. I mean, I guess they can naturally check it, kind of big enough.
Yeah. Yeah, really.
Yeah. Right.
Yeah, so I figured something I know.
Well, it's, when I used to do this conservation work, on this farm for a time, and a lot of chickens. It seemed like almost every day I went to one of these places, the night before they had, you know,
No,
I would be a fox or raccoon, eggs, you know, so you gotta kind of have it right there. Yeah. So you stay, you know,
Nothing's right on under there.
Just you walking through the room, man, just lightens everything up.
I hate to admit it, but I was home at 11 o'clock on Saturday night. I was looking through the dial and I saw it.
Why was he on TV?
It's a Mexican restaurant.
Oh.
You were there? Last day.
Did they interview you?
Yeah.
Wow. Women just wait to get in, they said they didn't want to be on TV. ABC 29 I'll be on TV.
Awesome. Good, good. All right, we're gonna go ahead and get started, and I'm gonna let Abigail come up here in just a minute to talk about Costco, but I do want you to know that outside of June 10th and November 5th, this is one of my favorite days of the year. November 5th is my birthday, just in case you never remember that. And I will be Route 66 in November. And June 14th is my anniversary. So, but I'm joking in one sense, but in another sense, I'm being very serious. The first day of the month for me, when I was an agent, was my favorite day of the month. And it was because of all the expireds. Almost everybody, this is just a tip for you, if you're going to list property, have them expire a few days before or a few days after the end of the month, because those sellers will get about half as many calls. But the first day of the month, you look at the hot sheet, and there is gold in them hills. And especially if you've done your homework and previewed and you know the property, because then you have an opportunity to reach out to those folks and say, I noticed that listing on your home has expired in the MLS. And believe it or not, probably 25–30% of the time that people will say, what? What do you mean it expired? The agent had no idea that it expired and it's off the market, and that can right there cause that person to say, I need to make a change. But I noticed that the listing in the MLS has expired. I'm just curious as to whether or not you're going to relist it. And they got one answer or two. Yes, we are. No, we're not. And then you go from there. If they say, yes, we're going to relist it. Well, the reason I'm calling is, are you going to consider other realtors before making that decision to put it back on the market? Because I'd love to earn the right to be the agent that helps you market your house to get it sold. And again, one of two answers. They say, no, we're going to use the same agent. Or no, yes, love the opportunity to chat with you. The other answer they might say is, we're so tired. We're just going to take it off the market for a while, see what happens. That used to be one of my favorite answers, because that meant nobody else was ever going to follow up with them again. Because as soon as they heard, no, we're just going to take it off the market, they had no system of follow-up. So what I would say is, oh, really? Okay. Well, when do you think you might want to put it back in the market? Well, we're thinking about, taking August off or September off or whatever. Okay, great. Would it be all right if I reached out to you on August 15th? Just to see where you are? Yeah, that'd be great. Well, what's the best way to contact you? What time would be good? And on August 15th, at whatever time they said, you're either on the phone or you're emailing them or texting them or Facebook messaging them or however you're going to communicate with them, saying, hey, it's Julie. Just checking in, see if there might be a time we might be able to get together. It works. It absolutely works. And for the good news about this, I mean, we talked about open houses yesterday, which was a great class. And tomorrow we're talking about promoting yourself, promoting your business. And we're talking about that a little bit this morning. But the reason that the expired, if you can really get good at it, is the sellers have already said they want to sell their house. You know that because it's in the MLS, right? You know they want to use a realtor. You know that because it's in the MLS, right? Now it's just a matter of finding out whether or not they're going to continue to use that same agent or whatever the case may be. And so I just, it's just a great place to be. Obviously, don't reach out to other Roy Wheeler listings. And in fact, the best thing to do in that situation is to call up and say, hey, Gabrielle, I don't know if you are aware of it, but the listing on your property and such expired. Give them that heads up so that they have the opportunity. They'll appreciate the fact that you've done that. Anyway, the bottom line is unbelievably a good place. And especially in this market, if their house is expiring, there's something wrong, right? It's either a bad location, the agent did a lousy job, seller has it overpriced, it's in terrible condition, and 3 or 4 of those you can decide you don't want it either, right? But the agent did a lousy job, didn't communicate, didn't explain to them how they were marketing it, blah, blah. Or you can do a good job of explaining to them why their house is overpriced and why it needs to be at this versus that. that can turn everything around. Now, here's and I'll finish with this. Here's the guttiest question that you ask. Most of us don't have the guts to do this, all right? But when you ask them, are they thinking about relisting it? Are they going to relist it? And they say, yes, we are. Are you going to use the same agent? Yes, we are. The next question, if you really want to, and there's nothing wrong with asking it, is have you signed an extension yet? And if they say, no, we haven't signed anything yet, you can say, I would love to come over and spend an hour with you. Worst case scenario, I give you some information that might help you and your agent market your house to get it sold. Best case, you hear what I have to say and you decide you want to list with me instead. I'm willing to spend that hour, are you? And it's a no lose for them. You're going to come over, you're going to tell them what you do. Now, obviously, you're not going to go into great detail, but you're going to tell them what to do. And they have the option at that point of signing the extension, and that's fine. You understand that. But they also have the opportunity to say, whoa, I didn't even know all these things were available. I didn't know they had this or that. My agent never told me about that. And all of a sudden, you create a doubt in their mind. But, I get it if that's not something you want to do. And you're not trying to disparage the other agent by any stretch. You're just asking the question, have you signed the paperwork yet? No, I haven't. Well, before you do, can I have a chance to come over and talk to you about what I would do differently and how I could help? And maybe I'll give you some advice that you can give your agent and it works. So anyway, I just realized when I was putting the agenda together last night and this morning that it was going to be August 1st and pulled up the hot sheet. Of course, there are all sorts of expired listings in there. And it is amazing how many sellers have no idea that their house goes off the market. Just FYI. Abigail's here from Costco. Costco has been in our office a couple different times, once when they first got started and second time to re-up. I realized that I hadn't done it right the first time. So I was glad they came in the second time because I now have the business card and I'm in there fairly regularly. But Abigail wanted to come in and talk to you guys about, if you don't know about it, or two, just in regards to how to extend and that kind of thing. And thank you for being here, Abigail, and thank you for the snacks as well. So come on up.
Okay.
Do you just want me to stay here or?
Whatever you want.
Okay, I'm just gonna make sure that I actually.
Just don't take my stuff when you leave.
Yeah. So my name is Abigail. I work for the marketing department over at Costco in Charlottesville. Yesterday, actually, we celebrated our 3rd year in Charlottesville. So thank you for the members that actually make it happen for us. And for the new members today,
3 years.
3 years, yes. Almost, yeah. I thought it would be like more than that, but it's actually 3 years. So for the new members, I'm here to explain our Costco membership. We do have 2 levels of membership. We have the executive and the gold star, but the most popular level we have is the executive, since you'll be getting 2% cash back on anything you purchase at Costco, Costco.com, and Costco Travel Services. And also the 2% goes to the pharmacy, tire center, optical, and hearing aid. The only thing that is not apply is the food court and gas. So with the executive membership, it is $120 for the year, and it's for 2 people. And with this one, if you sign up today, that's why I'm here for promotion, is if you sign up for an executive membership today, you will get a $20 cash card. So the $20 cash card is good for any Costco that you want to shop for, and a $60 worth of coupons and savings, which is going to be the free pizza, free coffee, free batteries, $5 off on the mixed nuts, free check printing, $6 off the meat, $3 off of the produce, and $3 off the pastry. So that's $60 right there, and then plus a $20 cash card, so that's $80 of rates and savings. And it's more than the upgrade right there. The good thing about this executive is you don't have to be in that level or that membership. So the second time you come to Costco and you think that you're not shopping enough to become a executive, you can always downgrade to the regular one, which is $60, and then you get your $60 back. But you get to keep the $20 cash card and the $60 worth of coupons. And also, the regular one we have is a Gold Star. So what it is just basically it's an ID for you to come into our warehouse and shop in, Costco. And with this one also, we have another promotional deal. It's not available at the warehouse. So if you sign up today for our regular membership, it's $60, but you'll be getting a $10 cash card with it. So technically, it's $50 for the year. And then the executive is $120, but you'll be getting a $20 cash card and a $60 worth of coupon. That's $80 right there. But then again, you don't have to be, it's not a contract or anything like that. So, because we don't really know how much you shop with us. So by the time you come back after the second time, you said, okay, you know what? I don't think I'm shopping enough being an executive. So you go back to the regular one and just downgrade to the regular Gold Star, which is 60, and then you get your $60 back. So it's a really great deal. And then I have some snacks for you guys at the back. Kirkland is actually our name brand for Costco. It's great quality products for the half price for the name brand that we have over there. But yeah, please feel free to have our samples. And if you have any questions, I'm also here if you need to upgrade or renew your membership. So I'll have everything over there, yes.
How would they go about doing it? Would we pass the forms out if they want them, or?
Oh yeah, it's right here. I mean, I got all the forms. I got everything that actually needed to be if you want to be a member with us. I mean, in Costco. I got the cash cards, I got the coupons and everything, so it's all ready. So it just depends on what kind of level of membership you want. So I'll be right there at the back if you have any questions.
And can you stay till the end so people can?
Yes,
Okay.
definitely. Yes, sir.
Questions
I'll be right
for-
there.
Questions for Abigail? Anybody that's shopping there want to get some kudos or whatever?
Their chicken.
Oh, yes, our chicken, rotisserie. That's just like $5
Yeah.
for the whole meal.
All the trays and everything.
So yeah, if you guys also, if you're just an existing member and then you want to renew, you can actually do it with me too if you want to do that.
Yeah, the peanut M&Ms that are normally in the office are come right from there and always fresh and tasty.
Yeah.
Actually right now we're getting a lot of organic stuff too. So it's something that a lot of our members are requesting. So we actually have a booth that you want to request what kind of brand you want. So we read it every night. So we have enough requests where your brand will be there at Costco. So it's a nice little, not little, but it's a big warehouse of savings.
Don't worry about that.
Produce is good too.
Yes, yes.
So I have two questions.
Mhm.
One is, why does Costco not do like an early hour business type of?
Yeah.
You know what? It's the funniest thing because we try to get ours because we have stocked delivery every night, and the reason is we just want to make sure that we get everything out there. We don't have anything at the back, so some people I just think like, oh yeah, do you have this size or do you have another? We don't have anything at the back at all. So we try to make it everything like one push. That's what we try to see. So we can't really just do an early thing because we got. Every night we have delivered like 3 or 4 trucks. And I think it might be cut off a little bit to, if we try to make it, okay, we're gonna go early for just business members because I think the Costco before, they opened early for business members and then a little bit later for family, but now we're just gonna do it like.
10 o'clock, right?
What's that?
11 till 10, right?
Yes.
Yeah.
Go ahead.
But I would recommend at least one day, because it's very inconvenient.
I will, yeah. If you want to put it on our, booth that request, they can definitely, if you have enough requests for it, they can probably work it out.
I'll give you a very personal piece of feedback.
Mhm.
My wife very rarely goes to Costco because she can go early to Sam's. So
Right.
we would probably not have a Sam's membership, which I would like. Not that she.
Yeah, okay.
But, I mean, she was there this morning at 8 o'clock, because we have an executive membership there.
It's
I think it's 2 days a week or something that they open early.
What are the hours now for Costco?
Right now, it's actually, we try to get like 9:30,
9:30 to
until
10.
9:30 to 8:30 p.m. During the week. And then we close at 6 p.m. during Saturday and Sunday. But yes, definitely, I can actually look, talk to my manager about it. And if you guys, just put in our booth, we have a little box in there that you can request what's good for you, for our members. They really listen to that one. And then they can just go with the bigger and higher, management for it.
And then my second question is, although it's not in Virginia,
Uh-huh.
is the Kirkland vodka made by Tito's?
You know what? I have no idea what that is.
She has no idea what
I have no idea. Well, no, Tito's is, I know what Tito's, but I don't know if
In
it's
other
actually
parts, like
made.
in Florida, Costco has an alcohol here.
Yes. You
Yeah,
know,
I'm
I'm
just
from
curious as to who
California. Yeah, I'm from California. We have like vodka everywhere. Even at CVS, we have vodka. And when they came in here, it's like, oh, you have to go ABS. No, seriously, yeah. Over here, it's just, I think it's just for ABC.
Yeah,
I'm
right?
joking, I was just curious as
Yeah.
to whether or not you knew it was Tito's that supplied it.
You know what? I love Tito's, so I hope that, it is. It's a good brand. But we do have French vodka, though, that I know they said that it's the same factory that works for Grey Goose. So we have, I think we have the local vodka, a US vodka, and a French vodka.
At Costco?
No, not here, not in Virginia. No.
Virginia, they want that.
Yeah, I'm not sure what the DC area, if they have still.
Washington itself has private liquor stores.
Oh, wait, it's still the same?
This district, but not Northern Virginia.
Oh, okay, yeah. This is the only, actually, the first time that I get here, like, oh, you have to go buy your alcohol somewhere else.
Yep.
That, I mean, even, those little tiny stuff.
Other questions?
Yes, ma'am.
If we renew today,
Uh-huh.
do we get that $10?
No, it's actually for just new members, yeah. But I can renew, that's for sure, yeah.
All right, thank you so
All
much.
right, thank you, Michael. Thank you so much, you guys. Yeah, I'll be right up at the back if you guys need me, so I got everything that needs for you guys, new members, and you need the concrete.
So I'll tell you a quick story about vodka being a pharmaceutical. I had never drank any sort of hard liquor until my kids were.
You went to UVA?
Yeah, at the UVA. I literally hardly drank at all. In fact, when I went into my fraternity to pledge, they handed me this is a true story, handed me a quart of chocolate milk and welcomed me to Sigma Chi. Instead of beers in the back, they knew that I didn't drink, and so they literally handed me a quart of chocolate milk as I walked in the door. But anyway, my kids were probably 8, 6, and 3, and maybe a little bit older, because when we go to the beach, the house is so big that we have to have a second house to house everybody, and which we call the dormitory. And so we'd have a house on the beach, and then we'd have a house on the Sound, that just was smaller. And we finally, our kids were old enough that our kids could stay there and be a part of all that, but Dottie and I got to go to the dormitory. And one night, my brother-in-law says to me, would you like a Resner? And I said, what's a Resner? And he said, it's vodka, lemonade, and a splash of cranberry. I said, oh, no, thanks. He said, no, why don't you try it? And Dottie goes, yeah, why don't you try it? And so I had a Resner. And I went back to the craziness of the other house. And about half an hour in, I looked at Dottie and said, wow, that Resner makes a difference. And so anyway, that's why I was asking about Tito's. Because that is my drink of choice. A little vodka, lemonade, splash of cranberry. Now you know. Second, and I shared that story because Chris was laughing when I was asking the question, what in the heck is he talking about? There are cards over here to remind you about leading RE and the fact that you have a wonderful opportunity to grow your business just by making a phone call or placing an email to Rhea. Let me give you 2 examples. It's about being wide-angle lensed with your thought process. Had lunch with a guy the other day, and his son, who I have referred to Richmond because they're going to buy a house there. We're just chatting, and he says, my son's having a really hard time getting his house sold in Mobile, Alabama. But the agent doesn't seem like they're interested, and 3 months into the listing, they talked about, I don't know anything about this, but there has to be a certain type of roof to get a certain type of loan down there, I guess because of hurricanes or whatever, I don't know. But anyway, it was like 3 or 4 months later that the agent said, you're probably having a problem because you don't have the right kind of roof for the people that are trying to buy this price house. So I said, well, would you mind if we're part of the leading real estate companies in the world? We've got brokers everywhere. And so we're going to get an outgoing referral on a listing on their house. If it doesn't sell in the next month or so, the agent in Mobile will take that listing over, and a check will come here because of the fact that my mind was thinking that way. And then secondly, My brother just sold his house in Arlington, and again, just referred him to an agent down in Richmond, and they bought a pretty nice house, and so that'll be another referral. And all I had to do is contact Rhea and say, Rhea, you know, I need a broker in Richmond, or I need a broker in Mobile, and Rhea does all the research, places it for you. You can talk to the agent if you want to get a feel for them and whether or not they're going to click. But the bottom line is, Bird just got a check the other day for $2,200 for just a phone call. And but the point being is it's local or global. We're international. So again, another way, one, of making money, but two, when you're talking in regards to your listings and things like this should be part of your presentation. That we're part of the leading RE network, and there are brokers all over the country, and there's a website, a completely different website for people to go on, and you can go on, and don't forget to go on, because you can do city by city comparisons. So again, somebody moving from Mobile to Richmond, I can print that information up. This is Mobile, this is Richmond, put them side by side, print it, email it to them to show them, you know, how many people live in Mobile, how many people live in Richmond, what's the average price in Mobile, what's the average price in Richmond, what's the, you know, average per capita, you know, blah, blah, but basically a city by city comparison. And that's a service you can provide your clients as they're moving from one place to another. So these are on my desk, and I realized you guys should have one of these. So they're over here, grab one when you leave, just to remind yourself that not only is it the #1 training program in the country, but it also is a way to create new business for yourself. So keep that in mind. One spot left for WINA advertising during the fall and basketball season. If you are interested, you know, please let me know, and we'll add you to the list. Today is we're talking about a number of different things, but one of the things we're talking about is testimonials, because I think when you look at the fact that 57 out of 58 surveys that we've gotten back so far have rated you guys either excellent or very good. That's 98.3%. It shows that that long-term success is never accidental. The way you care for your people is appreciated, and ultimately, lots of times referrals come back to you, or they buy from you again, or whatever the case may be. But I wanted to give you just a couple different examples, and then we're going to talk a little bit about ways that you can grow your business through testimonials as well. And these 58 surveys, by the way, are the surveys that we literally send out a hand-addressed stamped envelope to all your clients, whether once they close on a property as a buyer, or whether they close on a property as a seller. They get a survey from us that's not handwritten, but typed with me, handwritten signature, and then a postage stamp pre-addressed envelope, which makes all the difference in the world. You know, it costs us whatever it is, but we get a lot of them back because we make it simple for them. And so out of those, 58 have already come back this year. This doesn't count all the many that you guys are getting yourselves, or they're on Zillow, or, you know, wherever they're posting them. The survey now says on the letter, please go on, and we give them the URL to go on and do testimonials for you. So sometimes they'll just do that and they won't send the surveys back. And I want to just read a couple of these that have just come in the last week. The first one to Tammy. When we met Tammy for the first time, we were stressed by the circumstance that we needed to find, secure, and close on our forever home quickly. Her competence in real estate and calm demeanor immediately put us at ease. Tammy is knowledgeable, courteous, and professional. She remained in constant contact with us and even accompanied us to closing. Don't miss that. Even accompanied us to closing. There are so many agents that do not go to their buyers and sellers closings, which I don't understand. I hope that you do. I think it's important for you to be there in case there are any sort of questions or whatever. But anyway, this was even accompanying us, like that is a big deal, to closing to ensure that all details were addressed to our satisfaction. Mission accomplished, 30 days to property possession. Tammy is a valuable resource to the community, and we recommend her without reservation for all real estate matters. Paul and Rick, that's good stuff. Don't also miss that resource of the community. We talk about being the source of the source. Obviously, they were asking for other things, and Tammy had, she knew who to, put them with, touch base with, and things like that. So just that's extraordinary. And then the second one, it came to Caroline Revercombe. Caroline was amazing to work with from start to finish. She is a master in her profession, and this was apparent every step of the way. You seen a trend there, a continued theme? We contacted Caroline to help us find a home to buy. This was a long distance move, and she was so responsive and detailed, which immediately had me hooked. I craved information on an area I knew little about, and our move was imminent. Caroline took us all around the area and educated us on our options. When we found a home, she was diligent and thorough with us and the seller's agent. Even though we were not local, I felt like Caroline was always by our side and ready to talk through thoughts/concerns or answer questions. Long story short, we found our dream home in our dream location thanks to Caroline's guidance and attentiveness to what we were looking for. We would not have wanted to work with anyone else, and I would highly recommend her to anyone looking to buy a home. I know we would contact her in a heartbeat should we ever need to purchase again. She's the best. So that is really good stuff. And as you hear me say this all the time, my favorite time of the day is when I go to my mailbox and there's surveys that have come back, because I open them just anticipating reading great things about you. Very rarely, 1 out of 58, right? Is there somebody and that one was average. It wasn't like we were horrible. It wasn't very good or excellent. Very rarely is it something that's negative. And if it is, I get those to you and I say, hey, here's what they said. You might want to follow up with them because it might have been a misunderstanding or whatever. Maybe you can repair the relationship. If they hadn't written that in, you may never know that didn't go the way that you thought it. And I'll also tell you, Barb's a great example of this. She worked with a really, really tough seller. And she said to me, I don't want that survey to come in here. She really did. She came to me and said, is there any way we don't send this thing out? Right? Because I just think that she's going to just crush me. It was phenomenal what the seller wrote about Barb. And if I thought about it before right now, I would have had that one in here because it talked about how wonderful she was and how she was there. You would never have known it in dealing with this seller, that she was going to write something as well. And it turned out she was going through a lot of stuff. And Barb walked through that with her. And instead of being, worried about what was said, obviously she was very pleasantly surprised. So anyway, good stuff. And again, a reminder that when we get these, Chris is kind enough to go in and put them on your agent profile on the regular website. So when somebody goes into your agent area, they can read those things. And we take care of that. And that's not an easy thing. I mean, he's got to copy and paste and put all that in there. So I appreciate everything that Chris does to help make us look good and differentiate it from the competition. I'm going to do one more thing. I'm going to jump down for a minute because I want to get to the sort of part of the meeting today. I'm kind of glad that Jay's not here this morning. He's in Richmond for a loan officer meeting. But since it's testimonial Wednesday, I know it oftentimes should be testimonial Tuesday or Thursday. I asked a couple of people that I knew that had done business with Jay recently to write something up, and you'll get this. I'm going to attach it when I send it out to you guys today. And this could be said about Carl as well. And Ben, we've done some testimonies for Carl in the past, and Ben out in Green, but this is just recent, 2 of Jay's. I recently purchased a new home in Old Trail and wanted to express a great experience I had with Jay Dominic and Movement Mortgage. Jay's expertise, along with the Movement Mortgage process, provided a level of service I did not expect from a mortgage company. Movement Mortgage online application and easy-to-use portal made providing the required documentation to obtain my loan simple and seamless. What I appreciated most was Jay's constant support, expertise, and attention to detail from our first conversation through closing. If you're looking for a mortgage company with an easy-to-use online process but the support of a local mortgage expert, use Jay Dominic and Movement Mortgage. So, and again, Jay shows up at closings. If you're doing business with Jay, he's there at closing as well. And then the second one, we couldn't have been more pleased with Jay Dominic and his team at Movement Mortgage. From the first time we emailed him and he called within 5 minutes, we knew we were in the right hands. He walked us seamlessly through the process with a combination of Movement's excellent tools that made the application process easier and his old-fashioned hands-on approach to customer service. would recommend Jay and his team to anyone planning to finance a home. We've got a partnership with Movement Mortgage. I'm proud to be involved with them because of how they give back to the community as well. But man, what a joy it is to have guys like Jay and Carl and Ben who are just awesome in the way they go about doing their business, providing that kind of support to you all. So just encourage you to use them. I feel like, we talk about earning the right to do business. I feel like all three of them have earned the right in the way that they show up and they're present. The other day, I'm on the phone with Steve Marinella in the Wintergreen office, and he says, "Oh, hey, Carl," and Carl just bounced in to spend some time up there with him. And so anyway, really appreciate those guys and appreciate any support that you can give them. And speaking of Wintergreen, really phenomenal service for Brian yesterday. Very sad situation. It's been a tough month for Roy Wheeler and with sicknesses, but Ginger Ashland's father has passed away. Brian passed away. Sandy Collins, if you didn't know, her son passed away unexpectedly early this week. And then Susan Perkins, who used to be with us, her sister lost her battle with cancer. So it's been a tough emotional time, but yesterday was really special. It was a great turnout of people, and they just did this very low-key, informal. People get up and share their thoughts about Brian. And I learned a long time ago. I think it was at my wife's mother's funeral. That from now on I was going to go to funerals. One, to learn something I didn't know about. Well, first to support the people who have lost somebody. Two, to learn something that I could take away to make myself a better person and that in my own way continue their legacy. And yesterday was a great example of that. Brian's brother said, Brian was 53 years old, way too young. Brian's brother said he never heard Brian raise his voice in his whole life. Never raised his voice in anger in the whole time he knew him. And other people kind of said the same thing. So they said different things like that. But the other thing is that his family doctor, got up and had broken his elbow in a mountain bike accident, and he said, I got to admit, I got pretty whiny after I heard this and inconvenienced and whatever. But he said he thought about Brian, who was going through this brain cancer. He knew that it was, there was no hope. It was just a matter of when and how long. And never heard him complain one time about it. And he said, all of a sudden, my elbow didn't seem like such a big deal to me anymore. And I just thought that was really special. And for me, I got up and spoke, sort of as a Roy Wheeler representative. And for me, I could say the same thing. He came into my office and, Debbie, who do you need? Oh. He came into my office and, he said, I know this is going to sound crazy, but I'm kind of glad I got this. This is a miserable disease. But I have learned how much people love me and care for me that I would have never known had I not had this. And truly, he said that to me several different times, and other people said those same things. So anyway, bottom line is extraordinary guy, extraordinary realtor, but just a fantastic person, and it was great to be there. Keith.
You might want to tell the story about on the floor with the phone.
Oh yeah. So I had my prepared remarks, and Durwood, Brian's dad, came up to me and he said, I don't know if you know this, but Brian pretty much worked up to when he died. And I said, oh, I do know that, because he and I were in touch with each other just a 3 days before he passed. And he said, well, about 10 days before he passed away, he fell. And so he was on the bathroom floor, and they'd said earlier that even with the sickness that Brian never lost his appetite. But because he hadn't lost his appetite, he wasn't getting any exercise. So he was getting hefty. And Charlie couldn't get him off the floor, so she went across the cul-de-sac. One of the fire chiefs of the Albemarle County is in this cul-de-sac. This cul-de-sac is phenomenal. The way they cared for Brian is just off the chart cool, in the fact that the neighborhood coming together to help somebody. But anyway, By the time they got back to Brian with the fire chief to help pick him up, Brian was on the phone negotiating a contract. He literally had a cell phone and he was talking to Lori about a contract that they were working on. So I put it into my comments about, now that is ultimate customer service right there. You followed and you can't get up. And yet you're working a deal through that. So
How about the time they were playing charades? Brian was getting weak, he had a cane, and they had dinner, and then they started playing charades, 6 of them, I guess. And then he's laying on the couch because he's tired or whatever. And he never said, and everybody's doing these actions to.
movie, book, you know,
And
whatever.
Brian's silent on the couch. But finally, the answer was Thelma and Louise,
Yep.
the movie. And out of the distance comes Brian's voice and Thelma and Louise.
Yeah. They didn't even think he was engaged at all. And then, you know, they got to a certain point, Thelma and Louise. Anyway, it was special, but please keep Sandy and Susan and Ginger and, you know, just the unfortunate list just goes on and on in your prayers, and support people in whatever way you can. The last thing I want to do this morning is I want to talk about, you know, testimonials. I want to talk about how to increase your, you know, basically your network, your reach. And some of you know, and Chris, I'll let you do this, but some of you know that I had the opportunity this week to be featured on I Love CVille. And we're not going to watch the whole thing because it's like 20 minutes, but you can watch it if you want to. But Jerry Miller asked me, he said, and the reason I'm bringing this up is because obviously, you know, I've been pretty active on social media and waving the flag for Roy Wheeler, but also just to let people kind of know who I am. And Jerry reached out to me and said, hey, I'd really like to have you on my show. I'd love to spotlight you because I just think you get it in regards to how this is to be done. You know, leave it to Jerry. Jerry is a marketing guy. He's an advertising guy. So leave it to Jerry. He also wants this to go really well because he wants us to see the exposure that it creates, and so that maybe, you know, more of this will happen. But the point of it that was astounding to me is how much homework he had done. I had no idea what he was going to ask me. And it's a 22-minute, just one after another kind of questions and conversations. So I had no idea what he was going to ask me, but when he produced it afterwards, and if you watch the whole thing, it's pretty amazing. And Jake, you'll be interested in seeing it as well because it's pretty amazing. Every word that came out of my mouth, there was another picture. So I talked about vineyards, and all of a sudden there's a picture of Pippin Hill. I talked about such and such, and all of a sudden there's a picture. I talked about the website, and Roy Wheeler's website pops up, you know, as I'm conversing. But I just want you to just see a couple minutes of it, and I'm going to share a couple of things, and I'm going to bring Jake up.
Hey guys, welcome to the I Love CVille Network. I'm Jerry Miller inside our I Love CVille studios in Charlottesville, Virginia. Well, today we're going to welcome Michael Guthrie, the CEO of Roy Wheeler Realty Company, to the program. Michael Guthrie is going to join us momentarily. We're going to talk Charlottesville, real estate, and favored restaurants. We're going to run the gauntlet with Michael Guthrie. That's coming up next, thanks to Interstate Gas and Service Company. All right, guys, welcome back. As promised, Michael Guthrie, the Chief Executive Officer, the CEO of Roy Wheeler Realty Company, kind enough to join us. And we were talking off air, Michael, of how hot this market is. I mean, inventory levels at a low, interest rates still not bad. I mean, they're climbing, and people want to move to Charlottesville.
Oh, I mean, Charlottesville is still very, very much a place where people just see all the different aspects of it. I mean, just from the vineyards to the breweries to the sports to the medical facilities, culture. I mean, you got how many different places can you watch music every night? The food, you know, unbelievable. But you're right. I mean, the market is continues to be very brisk, especially in certain neighborhoods. It's house goes on the market, and sometimes it doesn't go on the market because a neighbor says, "Hey, if you ever think about selling your house, I'd love to move up to yours." And then that happens, and so it's really kind of hard to, you know, kind of keep up with it. And you see different neighborhoods all of a sudden just sort of catch momentum, and houses that were selling for X are now selling for Y, and you're going, holy moly, you know, you just got to be in it every day to really understand what's going on.
How are you keeping track? Because, you know, I love the real estate game as well. How are you staying on top of everything? Is it just to communicate?
So 23 minutes of this, we talk about food, we talk about a lot of different things, we talk about politics, talk about my faith. But the point of all this is that if you watch this, what he's done with this thing is he's posted that in all sorts of different ways, and he has all sorts of different ways it comes out. He's got I love Seaville, he's got I love food or Seaville food, he's got Scoutology, he's got all these different places, and just at different times he's placing that into those places so that it gets another bump, if you will. And the point of all this is we've been talking about video and about how video can be really impact the way you do things. And I have been, just astounded by the number of views that are showing up in regards to people watching this, and people that I didn't even know. I was at golf. And by the way, John, you picked a great season not to play twilight golf. Oh my gosh! The fourth hole yesterday. What happened last night just literally dumped on us, and that's as far away from you clubhouse as you can be, and we were walking. But anyway, I'm in the locker room. The guy says to me, "Hey, I saw the spotlight on you on I Love Seaville. That was pretty amazing." A guy I didn't hardly even know, right? But so the first point is, when you do something like this and you get it into the right hands of people, they can promote it, they can share it, and even your own people. So as we've been talking about, and it's on the agenda again, when Chris sends out the newsletter that we're working on right now for August, when you share that out to all your people, ask them to share it out to all their people, because that's where the power starts happening in regards to that message getting out there and people seeing you as the source, seeing you as an expert in the business. And then just this morning, I was, doing whatever I was doing, and I thought, oh my gosh, I know another way to use this. And I copy and pasted this, and I just played, a few weeks ago, I played in a golf tournament on the weekend with 40 of my former fraternity brothers. And so there's a group email, right? So this morning I hit reply all, and I posted this in and said, hey, if you want to, you want to know about what's going on in Charlottesville, click on watch this. And so now 40 of my friends are going to watch that, right? And if there not very many of them live here in Charlottesville, live in other places, but if they decide that they're going to do something in Charlottesville, blah, blah. Somebody who's thinking about buying a house in Charlottesville that I know, and has decided to put it on hold for a little bit. I sent that to him and his wife last night. Hey, just thought you'd be interested in knowing what's going on in Charlottesville. And so once you have a video like this, there's just so many different things that you can do to touch different people in a way that you never know, how it's going to positively or negatively impact. The good news for me, all three of my kids thought this was great. So if they thought it was great, I'm feeling really good, because they are pretty critical about Dad. Now I will tell you, and then I'll shut up. This shirt and tie, when I walked out of the house that morning, Dottie goes, "Oh my gosh." And I said, and I'd forgotten I was going to be on this thing. I said, "What?" She goes, "You look like you looked 20 years ago." I said, "What do you mean?" She said, "You've had that tie for at least 20 years, and I'm pretty sure that's a shirt your son gave to you, and he outgrew it, right?" So, and she got a big kick out of it, because when she watched it, she said, "Here you are in this cutting edge technology in a 20-year-old shirt and tie." Anyway, but anyway, the point of all this that I want to bring to your attention is that video really can be powerful. That video can make a difference in the way you market. And I had the opportunity to meet Jake. Jake is Michael Johnson's son. Some of you know Michael Johnson from PMI, property management company here in Charlottesville that does a lot of work for us. He's a tremendous partner to us. We refer business to him. He refers business to us. And I had Michael on the show, and Jake came and took some pictures and did some stuff while he was on my radio show. And he sent me a couple samples of what he does. And I said, "You got to come into the office and share this." And so I asked him to come in this morning and let you have at it. Let's give him, he drove all the way from Blacksburg to Julie Hokie. Now, it just goes to show, see, I can even allow a Hokie come in and YouTube with us. Thanks for being here. He's even got the property management logo on, the brand on.
Yep, his brand new shirts, everything. Well, I was gonna get up here and talk about how much it affects social media and stuff. Mr. Guthrie did such a good job of saying, I mean, video is where it's at now. I mean, everybody's got a video. 8 billion views a day average on Facebook just for videos. And Facebook is just starting in the video game now. They just added a tab for video in the app. I mean, they're just getting started. YouTube is crushing them in views. I mean, if videos are where it's at now. So I just want to talk about kind of how I got started first. When I was 17 years old, DJI company out of China is the Apple of drones. And they started coming out with drones, and I said, I have to get into this somehow because my dad's in real estate. All these pictures you see of properties, everybody's still using these old cameras. Agents are using their phones, all this kind of stuff. And I saw a market. And I went out to Charlottesville and I started taking drone pictures and realized that people actually responded very well and people really, really liked them. So I went out, and not a lot of people know this. I got a drone license. You have to have a license to actually use drones to make money in real estate. But I went and got my drone license. I started making videos after I took pictures. People responded even better to the videos. So then I said, okay, I started doing these videos of properties, just quick 30-second flyover videos just to show you what the property looks like from over the top. People responded very well, so I upgraded again. I started doing just short clips of, hi, my name is Gina, this is what I do. And then I moved on to promotional videos, and I have one that I can show you in a minute here. But it's a really, really good way to show people who you are. You message on Facebook, and it just doesn't capture your interest in them and your confidence in yourself and your skills and that kind of thing. So promotional videos are such a good way to put your face out there and get people to recognize you. So I'll show you this. It's just a minute and a half. It's really quick, but these are the kind of videos. This is kind of what I specialize in, but I still do drone photography, videography, any video that you need, I'll figure out how to do it.
My name is Gina Myers, and I specialize in mortgage lending in the DC metro area. I love helping to educate my clients on the mortgage loan process. Buying a new home is a big deal, and every situation is different. It's my job to listen and make sure that we find the best mortgage to fit your needs and that you feel comfortable in the process. I've been in the real estate industry for over 16 years. I believe that communication, as simple as it may seem, is the key to success. That's why we update our clients every step of the way. I've established a team of trusted professionals to ensure whatever questions you may have, we will be able to provide the best solutions. Our measure of success is when a client tells us that they were fully informed throughout the process and never had to wonder about the next step. What I love most about my job is really getting to know my clients and understand what is most important to them. I want them to know it's my responsibility to look out for their best interests. At the end of the day, when I'm home with my family, I know my team and I have given our best to love, serve, and care for our clients. My name is Gina Myers, and if you're thinking about buying a home, I'd love to help you through the process.
So that video is up on her website. I just finished that one for her a couple weeks ago. She did such a good job just showing that she cares about her clients. And that's what it's all about, is just showing people that you really do care. And that you went out and took the time to do your research and do this video and show that you care. So, does anybody do you have any questions for me?
Talk about if somebody wanted to do this, how it will happen, costs, those kind of things.
So promotional videos, that video I charge $500, but under that $500, I have 3 hours of footage from that day, and I'll give you Instagrams, shorter YouTubes. I'll make the video. I mean, that video was a minute and a half because I spoke to her and said people don't watch a video for very long. I mean, more than 5 minutes, they're going to watch the first minute and then click away. So that was me saying we should have this at this length, but if you want length, you want it shorter, you want Instagrams, you want short Twitter videos, anything that you need that I've shot, I won't charge you extra to go do it. If I have the footage, I'll go make it for you. If you want pictures, it's way cheaper. I charge $50 a property for pictures. For property videos, I charge $100 a property. Anything in between, we can talk and I'll help you out.
So you can create like a one-pager for me on that and send it to me?
Absolutely.
So I can send it out to everybody so they have the contact information.
Yeah, and what I just did for her too was individual videos through each process of the lending process. So through the application to the closing,
Oh, wow.
each one was a different video, but 500 did the whole, all 6 videos or whatever it was. So
How much do you charge for a drone?
for just pictures, just of the property,
overhead, drones.
I would for just for this house $50. No.
So it's the same as just buying their pictures. Was that what you said?
You said a video of this place?
Yeah, a drone video.
Oh, video, yeah, 30-second drone videos, $100.
So where do you live?
So I live in Blacksburg, but the stuff this is what I do for fun. I mean, I go home and edit video for fun on my computer. So driving here to go do stuff is negligible for me.
Plus, I can do it with your dad here in shows.
Yeah, we still run PMI Charlotte, so we're here quite a bit, showing property and all that kind of stuff too. So yeah. So I have cards or anything. If you have any questions for me, see me after. I'll stay later and everything. So thank you.
Thank you. Get the cards, and then I think a one-page summary would be really great that we can send out.
Yeah, and I'll have you send them out.
Yeah, you got it. Thank you very much. Okay, real quick, everybody's business card? All right, if you just look down, obviously, you know, we have an in-house photographer. We may now have another in-house photographer. Drone photography, obviously Jake's doing that. John Hancock continues to get great reviews from folks in regards to that. We've talked about the testimonials, which I think is again making a big difference. And then the last thing I just want to point you toward this month. We've got a lot of really cool things going on in August that I hope you'll take advantage of. There's obviously training, but there's also CE training, which some of you have taken some of these classes, but some of you need them. The agency at 10 on the 16th and legal update with the flood insurance at 11. And then on the 23rd, there's a required 2-hour fair housing class that you need to take. So we'll be teaching those. The big thing I want to point toward, though, is the 29th. Well, the 15th first. Speaking about, you know, networking and getting the word out, Realtor.com is going to be here. They're going to be on site with their people to talk to you about how to use Realtor.com to help grow your business, and specifically about 5 Street, about the follow-up program that we have paid for you all to use, or paid down for you all to use. It's $10 a month for you to have access to that. We've signed a contract for the branding, which allows us to charge it at that low price. So I really hope that you'll come on the 15th and learn about that, use that. Julie, please encourage your folks to come. I'm going to reach out to Maury and Matthew as well. It's a time that I really would like everybody to be here. I mean, we'll have it live streaming, but I think it's the kind of class that everybody should be at. Southern Development will be here to update us on new communities, 10 o'clock. Southern Development will be here. They'll just start the meeting to bring people up to date on their communities. And then the 29th, we're going to have a lot of fun. 29th is going to be Roy Wheeler Day. We've got a golf tournament set up over on the little 10-hole course at Farmington in the morning that people can sign up for. It's $40 for people to participate in that. And then we'll take a little break. And at 1:30, we've got about 10 vendors already, including Michael Johnson, PMI, that are going to be here. They're going to have tables set up so you can just really have a chance to meet people face to face and get to know what they do and how they might be able to help your business. Nothing else, allowing you another way of being the source of the source. So all these different people are going to be here telling you about what they do. We hope they'll end up being about 12 to 15 vendors ultimately. And we've even invited a couple nonprofits to be here to talk about what they do. But that'll be from 1:30 to 4. We'll have it all set up in here. And then at 4 o'clock, the first annual cornhole tournament. 2-man teams. Hopefully there'll be some teams from each office. And we'll set up a couple of cornhole places back in the back. And then we're going to do a happy hour as well, beer and wine and refreshments and everything. Just have a really fun day together, doing some business stuff, but also just enjoying one another's companies. So please mark that date down and encourage as many folks. That'd just be a great time to be together. And then on the 30th, the last day of the month, or second last day of the month, we're going to do Peak Producer Preview. For those of you who haven't taken Peak Producers, that's the class that Yona teaches. It's 12-week class. First week it's every morning, and then it's the Monday for 11 straight weeks. A bunch of people in the room here have been through that process. So we're going to have a meeting that day to kind of bring everybody up to date. It'll start sometime probably middle of September so that we're all done by the time we roll into the Thanksgiving timeframe. And Yona will be doing that. So mark your calendars for that. Interesting enough, just as a side note of what we're talking about here, I just got, when Jake was talking, I got an email. I told you I sent the email out to the fraternity brothers. I just heard from a guy I haven't heard from in 40 years. And he says, "Hi, Mike. You look too darn happy. Something must be wrong." Is the lady in the picture, meaning Dottie, from our days as college students, which, yes, she is. Good to hear from you and glad you landed back in Charlottesville. We should connect when we're down there. So the guy had no idea I was even in Charlottesville. Been here 13 years. And by using that type of thing, I've now made a connection, which of course I'll follow up with him and say the next time you're here, let's grab lunch or whatever. So go ahead.
And you can't post every single day like, hey, I'm in Charlottesville. You can post a video every day.
Yeah. So anyway, just showing you that this kind of thing works. It only works if you do it, right? It only works if you do it, and you do it each and every day. You're disciplined and intentional about how you want to get the message out. So other thoughts, questions? Gabrielle.
What is the Buffini group?
So the Buffini group, Brian Buffini is a national trainer, renowned national trainer, 20 years doing real estate training around the country. He also has a coaching program where you can sign up and have one-on-one coaching. He also has a monthly sort of networking box that he sends you to reach out to your clients, things like that. I've known Brian since he first started training and really believe in what he teaches, because he not only teaches about real estate, but he teaches about life and about being balanced and just the whole scenario. And a bunch of people can pitch in on this, but he has, one of the things he does is Peak Producers. And Peak Producers is a 12-week program where you learn how to be the CFO, the CEO, and the COO of your real estate company. It talks about all three legs of the stool, if you will. He also talks about the 5 circles of balance: life, finances, work. What are the other 2? Spiritual, and anyway, there's 5 things, and the whole point of it is.
Who's got enough, Michael?
I know, dang it. No, maybe I got 80. I have 4 out of 5. But 5 circles, and the whole point of it is, if you're all about your family, and that circle's really big, the other 4 circles are going to shrink. If you're all about your business, that circle's going to be really big, but the other 4 are going to shrink, and so you won't have the kind of life that you ultimately want to have. So it's an amazing. If you go to Buffini and Company, you can get all sorts of information. Mondays and here at 9:30, we do a thing called Buffini Blitz, where agents come in and talk about the different things that they're doing in regards to Buffini. Most of you don't know this, but I just got asked to be on a broker advisory council for Buffini. I'm one of 20 brokers around the country that have been asked to be on this advisory council. And I'm actually going out to San Diego Sunday for the mastermind retreat as part of that advisory council. So I'm really excited about it. I've been a big proponent about it. You got folks that have gone through it. Give Gabrielle just quick what you think about Buffini and how it works.
I'm in their coaching program, so do I believe it? Yes. Yeah, and I listen to a podcast pretty much at least 2 or 3 days, 4 days a week. I like driving, so yeah, the podcast are free. Just They all listen, it's a lot of good information.
Barb, how about your?
Good accountability and, our Monday meetings are just really good chat in the arm and with neat ideas that we run through.
Anyway, Buffini and Company, if you really, what I would do, in all honesty, to learn more about it, is reach out to Yona and just grab a cup of coffee with her, because she's the mentor coach.
She's very good.
I'm certified as a mentor coach, got certified years and years ago, but when Yona came to our company and earned the right, I asked her to take that over. And so she got trained as a certified mentor coach, and she leads the program. I'm part of it, and I support it, and I believe in wholeheartedly in it. I believe so wholeheartedly about it is that you have to pay to be part of Peak Producers, which is $395 to be in the program. But after 2 closings, I pay you back. I give you all the money back. Because I just believe you're going to get it. And it happens. You know, at 2 closings, I give you the money back. The 2 closings that you can tell me came from what you learned through Buffini. So, and I just believe that it's worth it. It's worth it to me to have you go through it, because I think you're going to be better at what you do having gone through it. So, Karen Dow, who is watching online, just won the $2 lottery ticket. Julie Holbrook, Barb Kelly, and Ned Carter have won $1 lottery tickets. Thanks for your time, guys. Have a great day.
Thanks, guys. Have a good day.
Oh, yeah, that's Friday.
Oh, this Friday, the downtown office, go on down at 5 o'clock and just get ready to go for Fridays after 5. You go down, visit the office, be a part of all that, and then go do whatever you're going to do the rest of the Friday evening. From 5 to
7:30.
5 to 7:30.
Mine, yours.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Yeah. Thanks for being here, guys. And don't forget to get with Abigail if you're going to renew or sign up for the first time or whatever the case may be. Thank you, Jake. Did everybody get one of Jake's cards?
No.
Thank you very much. Thank you.
Thank you, man. Chris. Yeah.
Yeah. You took my last from me.
Don't have too much fun in San Diego.
You know,
I lived there 15 years. Yeah, my husband and I graduated from San Diego. And I went there, 1999.
you know, we've been out there a few times because of the whole operations in Carlsbad. That's why he's operating out. So I've been out there a number of times. And we went and visited UC. Kid, we saw that campus. Why was it?
Yeah, exactly. And I lived in Del Mar, but my first husband was, and who died in Glasgow, which is real wicked. And I feel the pain of his family. But it doesn't really matter what you die of, it's just that jolt. And what I created after that was like a passion. Because I think feels so sad that you stand up after someone's passed.
That's right.
It tells you how great it was. And every year I always think back to all my clients because to celebrate life. And every year somebody's missing. We got into a hellish accident, but the life parties.
Have you ever eaten Tuesdays with Maury?
Yes, I have.
That's-
You know,
that's
the
what
only
we
thing
did.
is you don't want to have regret. It's today. I can walk out this door and I can take the wrong left turn. It's not about your health. But anyways, La Jolla is cool because, I don't know, my first one was very high-end architect, with a multi-million-dollar house. And I was happy to have a team out in San Diego. As